Welcome in, everyone. Let's take a look at the quarterfinal matchups for the Women's Concacaf Gold Cup. So we're now down to the quarterfinals, so we're inching closer to the final here. We have the final 8 teams, and we'll have 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Let's start off with the first one. It's Canada and Costa Rica on Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The odds for this game make Canada huge favorites at minus 2,800 to win. The draw plus 1,400. Costa Rica to win 40-1 odds. Now, those are all odds to win in regulation. Currently, there are not odds to simply advance by any means for this game. The over 2.5, minus 600. Under 2.5, plus 350. Both teams to score yes, plus 275. Both teams to score no. So the minus 400. So Costa Rica not favored to get on the score sheet here. Now, these teams just played in the group stage, so not that long ago. Very recent head-to-head action to look at here. And there was goals by Jordan Huitema and 2 from Shalina Zadorsky in a 3-0 Canada win. Canada had 67% of the possession. They led in shots 12-1 and 4-1 shots on target. Now, all time between these teams, Canada's completely dominated this head-to-head, being 17-0-2, so they've never lost. Canada's won the last 7 games. The scores were 3-0, 2-0, 1-0, 3-1, 6-0, 3-1, and 3-1 if we go back and just look going back to 2016. Canada, they coasted to first place in Group C during the group stage. They had a 6-1, 4-0, and 3-0 wins over El Salvador, Paraguay, and Costa Rica. Canada has won their last 6 games. All of those games have been clean sheets, and they've outscored their opponents 21-0. For Costa Rica, they were 3rd in Group C. They made it through as one of the 2 best 3rd place teams. They lost 1-0 to Paraguay, beat El Salvador 2-0, and lost to Canada 3-0. Costa Rica has 3 wins in 5, but they have just 4 wins in their last 15 games, and 2 of those were blowouts against the lowly St. Kitts and Nevis. Costa Rica, they're not winning a lot of games, but they're rarely getting blown out. They only have 2 losses by more than 2 in their last 17 games. Canada's last game, that was one of those being against Canada in their last game, and also against Spain last summer. So how do we find the value here with Canada being such huge favorites? Well, you have to go and create some sort of same game parlay. You can do a few different options over at Bet365. You can go Canada halftime, full-time, plus under 3.5. You get some plus money at plus 162. You can go Canada halftime, full-time, and under 4.5, a little bit safer, minus 125. I think that's the way we'll go here for our best bet. So that's be Canada to win it, be leading the game at halftime, and to go on to win, and there to be under 4.5 goals. If we look at a few other stats, 2 of 3 Canada's games in the group stage have gone under 4.5. All 3 of Costa Rica's games have, and the last 4 and the 6 of 7 Canada games versus Costa Rica have gone under 4.5. And Canada has only won by over 3 once in that time. So let's go. Canada halftime, full-time, under 4.5 odds at under 4.5 goals at minus 125 odds. What's your pick in this game? Be sure to drop it in the comments. Follow the channel for more soccer picks and more Women's Gold Cup picks as well. But we will keep rolling on and touch on the next 3 games as well. And the next one on Saturday, it's Brazil and Argentina. Brazil, another heavy favorite here at minus 4,000. The draw being 12-1. Argentina 33-1. Once again, no odds to simply advance by any means here. Over 2.5, minus 400. Under 2.5, plus 275. Both teams to score yes, plus 333. And much like the last game, both teams to score no, heavily favored at minus 500. So the odds are saying Argentina will not be getting on the score sheet here. We recap the past head-to-heads between these teams. Brazil has owned Argentina, winning each of the last 9 and outscoring them 36-4. But not pretty easy wins, but not complete blowouts in recent head-to-heads. If we look at 2022 and 2021, Brazil's won 4-0, 4-1, 3-1, and 4-1. In this tournament, Brazil topped Group B with a 1-0 win over Puerto Rico, 1-0 win over Colombia, and a 5-0 win over Panama. They've won 4 straight, and they are 9-1-3 in their last 13 games. They've kept 4 straight clean sheets as well. But Brazil's only won by more than 1 twice in 10, and that was versus Panama and Nicaragua. For Argentina, they were the best 3rd place team. Maybe unlucky to be placed in a tough group with Mexico and USA. They did finish 1-1-1. They drew Mexico, an impressive showing of 0-0. They lost 4-0 to USA, and they beat the Dominican Republic 3-0. They have only 2 wins, though, in 12 games, and those 2 wins were against Dominican Republic and Bolivia. And in those 12 games, they only have 2 wins, and 1 was a 2-2 draw. 2 wins and a 2-2 draw with South Africa. Those are the only times that they have scored a goal in those games. Otherwise, they've been shut out in 9 of their past 12 games, which is not very good here, playing against a tough Brazilian side. Now, on one hand, Argentina had a good draw with Mexico. Mexico's been a great team, but they did only manage 1 shot on target, so that's more evidence of their poor attacking powers here. Otherwise, they've not been in good form, and they are rarely scoring. Brazil have just narrow wins over Puerto Rico and Colombia. Once again, though, Brazil heavily favored. We have to create some sort of same-game parlay here. You can go Brazil to win and under 4 goals at plus 150. And if you want to be a little safer, which I often like to do, Brazil to win and under 5 goals. Looks like it could be a good bet there at minus 138 odds. That's what we'll do for our bet in this game. What do you like? Be sure to comment along in the video and drop that best bet in the comments. Next up, we'll go to Sunday. 2 more games on Sunday in the quarterfinals. It's Mexico and Paraguay. Mexico also heavily favored, not quite as big as the last 2 games, but they're still minus 700 favorites here. The draw being plus 500, Paraguay 16-1. This game does have some odds to simply advance by any means in case this game was drawn at the end of 90. Mexico to advance minus 2,000, Paraguay to advance plus 1,000. The over 2.5 minus 167, under 2.5 plus 130. And similarly to the other 2 games, Paraguay would not be favored to score here. Both teams to score no, minus 300. Both teams to score yes, plus 225. Now, the last meeting between these teams was a 4-1 Mexico win, and that was in October, so a pretty recent game in the Pan Am Games. Paraguay won 2-1 in 2019. Mexico won 5-0 way back in 2007, so there's not tons of head-to-head history between these teams, and even less so in recent years. Mexico has scored the 2nd most goals in the group stage, and they went on to win Group A. They drew Argentina 0-0, routed Dominican Republic 8-0, and then they even shocked the USA, upsetting them 2-0. Now, everything has gone right for Mexico in the last couple of years. If we look back over the last couple of years, they haven't lost in 22 games, and their record is 18-4-0. For Paraguay, they're 2nd in Group C. They beat Costa Rica 1-0, lost to Canada 4-0, and beat El Salvador 3-2. Now, since losing to Mexico back in October, they are 3-1-3, so a mixed bag of results. They have 2 wins over Costa Rica and 1 over El Salvador in that time. Mexico has been coasting for quite some time now, but their wins, they've only had wins by more than 2 goals just twice in their last 7 games. Even though I do think it's possible they could win by more. We could go Mexico minus 2 here as a best bet at plus 110 odds to win, and win by probably 3, but at least 2 goals. So let's go USA and Colombia now into the next game. It's the last game on Sunday. Now, this game actually has no odds posted yet. USA will likely be heavily favored, probably like the other games. Colombia won't be favored to score, and we'll have to create some sort of same-game parlay. There's no odds yet. It is the late game on Sunday, so let's just get into some stats between these teams to include all the games in this video. Head-to-head, USA is 10-2-0. They're undefeated all-time against Colombia. They won 3-0 in their last game and drew 0-0 in 2023. But USA has not won by more than 3 in any of the last 4 meetings. Colombia, though, has not scored versus USA in any of their last 6 games. USA started strong in this tournament. They won 5-0 and 4-0 with wins over the Dominican Republic and Argentina, but they were then upset by Mexico 2-0. They finished 2nd in Group A. The loss to Mexico was just their 2nd loss in 14 games. For Colombia, they've been impressive and allowed the 4th fewest goals with just 1 in the group stage. All of the group winners, by contrast, allowed 0, so they were right up there with some of the best defensive teams so far in this tournament. They beat Panama 6-0, they lost to Brazil 1-0, and then beat Puerto Rico 2-0. They have 3 wins in 4, but they have come against some weaker opponents, certainly much weaker than the USA. They've had good form now, though, for some time. They're 7-4-4. The 4 losses came against big teams like, at least mostly big teams like Brazil, USA, England, also a Morocco loss. And the USA loss was the only time in that time they lost by more than 1 when they lost 3-0. Like I said, there's no odds in this game, so it's hard to make an official best bet. But something like Colombia keeping this close, maybe Colombia plus 3.5, Colombia plus 4.5, or some sort of version like USA to be leading at halftime and full time and to keep a clean sheet, could be all possible options. But I think anything that sees USA winning and Colombia keeping this game close could be good options. I'll look back at the odds later and maybe post a bet in the comments when the odds come out. But that will wrap up the quarterfinal best bets for the Concacaf Women's Gold Cup. Be sure to drop all of your best bets for this round down there in the comments. If you're looking for more CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup picks. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more bets later in this tournament. Good luck, everybody, with all of your bets this weekend.